Are you a parent wondering if you're doing right by your kids?
A therapist seeking real-world applications for working with children and their families?
A teacher trying to navigate educating the whole child in today's world?
Then this is the podcast for you.
Hey guys, it's Brigid
And Jenna.
the teacher.
And the therapist.
Hey.
Hi.
We're back.
We are back. Feels like it's been so long. What have you been up to? How have you been?
Yeah, it's been a while since we decided to cut back to every other week.
Bi-weekly.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks now.
My life was a little chaotic, as you probably picked up on from the last episode of my pure chaos. So here we are.
Pure chaos.
But no, things are going well. My kiddos just had their birthday.
How old are they now?
They're 5. We took a trip to Great Wolf Lodge. That was fun. Lots of swimming. So yeah, it's been good. How about you?
Doing that. Good. I've been good. Working, hanging out.
Living the dream.
Taking care of other people's kids, pretending they're my own.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's about it. Work's been decent. So yeah, I've been decent.
So
let's get into it. What are we talking about today?
So it's holidays.
Holiday season.
It's
Thanksgiving is coming up this week.
Yeah, and then we've got Christmas, of course, and any other holidays that you and your family celebrate
Hanukkah,
this time of year.
Kwanzaa, they're all the same week this year.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Hanukkah starts Christmas as well.
That's cool.
I don't know.
So you're probably or potentially going to be traveling to visit your family. So we thought, travel tips.
Travel tips for the kids.
Travel tips.
So, yeah, so good. As always, with these kind of episodes, we're going to break it down by like age, developmental stage for ease and organization on our end, because we like to pretend we're not pure chaos sometimes. But you know your kid best, so don't be alarmed if we list something under toddler that your toddler can't quite do or vice versa.
Correct.
And of course, some of these are versatile, so they can be like used across age ranges too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just, we might mention it earlier, but school age might still like it.
Yes. So general tips.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these apply regardless of your form of transportation.
Yeah.
If you're driving, you're flying, you're taking T's favorite form of transportation, a train.
I was going to say, or a dinosaur. I feel like he would enjoy if he rode Dino back.
Yes. So first of all, if you've got little ones, you need to make a plan for feeding.
Yeah, definitely. Right? Kids like food.
Regardless, like if you're looking at your infants, obviously, are we formula feeding? Are we breastfeeding? Are we solid foods? All of those, you're going to have to arrange for stops around that.
Right.
And even as they get older, obviously, they might stop breast or bottle feeding, but they still got to eat.
Yeah.
So
is it like
make plans?
Messy. I saw something about that too. It's like, it'd be great. It was like an Instagram that was like, you could just like say, hey, pack the car with snacks, but is it going to be, are pouches the best option if your 2-year-old's going to be squeezing them all over the place? And
you have to keep in mind like choking hazards for the car,
especially if like no adults are in the back, you know, and they're old enough that you're just handing them back or something. Yeah.
My kids we've really like drilled choking hazards into them since they were little.
So they're like,
to this day, no matter what the candy, like Halloween, happened not too long ago. Every piece of candy they pick up, is this a choking hazard? Because they know if it's a choking hazard, they have to sit at the table the whole time they eat it. Otherwise, like
they don't really want it to
pretty free range.
They don't want to have to do that. So they're like,
is it a choking hazard? Do I have to sit for that?
Exactly. Can I choose one that I can walk around with?
So
that's too funny.
Yeah. So like if you are leaving at breakfast time, are you going to eat breakfast first and then get on the road? And then in a few hours you can stop or whatever.
Right.
And it's hard. We can't really give a plan for that. That's going to be based on you, your family.
What works for you all.
Yeah.
And the kids and is it plane? Is it car? Whatever. Yeah.
Right. And then choosing a time that works for you goes along with that. Yeah. Do you want to leave right after they had dinner because then they're going to be full and
go to sleep?
Yeah, sleep for a while. Yeah. Obviously, the most important thing to pack is going to be your patience and your flexibility.
Pack it.
Yep.
Pack your patience.
Pack it with you because you're going to need it.
A lot of it.
It's not going to be easy.
I have traveled with, how old were they at the time? Like a 9-month and a 2-year-old.
Yeah, we flew to visit my in-laws.
Yeah,
when the boys were, I think, about 21 months.
Okay.
So, yeah, 2 toddlers through the airport. It's not easy.
No. And you just drove with 2 4-year-olds.
And we drove out to Philadelphia. We went to Sesame Place.
Oh, that's
when
right.
They were
I forgot about that.
Almost
a couple
3,
years ago.
2.5-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we drove to Florida, and we do lots of traveling. We drive out to Pittsburgh all the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We drive to Toledo a lot.
So you're going to have a lot of tips for us.
We have lots of tips for the short trips.
Yeah.
The longer ones we've only done like
a couple times.
I mean, they're only 5.
Philadelphia.
And I guess if we've done like 4 times, then yeah, that's kind of a lot.
I mean, yeah, Philadelphia's pretty far. Florida obviously was a long one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, other ones like trying to figure out a time and like a way for them to get their energy out before, during, so if it's before you get on the plane, are there one of those like play areas? Sometimes they have in airports, they have like a little playground, climbing gym or something, or just let them kind of run around like an empty gate.
Yeah.
Actually, at the Akron Canton Airport, they also have a sensory room, which I always thought was cool.
Yeah.
Especially for such a small airport that they like had that.
And I'm sure airports near you have them too.
Yeah.
So do your research.
Find that.
Go to your airport's
and
website.
It might be then worth it. Like, do we go, is it worth it to drive to Pittsburgh if you have that versus going through Cleveland or whatever?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, same thing. Or if you're in the car at rest stops, let the kids get out, stretch, whatever. Do all of those things. And then my next tip is accept help. Okay. I just think again, I've only done it a handful of times because I don't have my own kids, but I've heard like stories. Another woman I follow on Instagram was saying she is like a international speaker. And so for when she now has 3 kids, but especially with her first, like he flew like over 20 times, I think, in his first year of life.
Oh, just like traveling with her?
With her.
Okay.
And so she got very accustomed to it. But the one time she like told this story where she was like, their flight they missed it or it got delayed or like canceled or something. So she was pushing the stroller with one hand. She had the like phone up to her ear on like with the airline trying to like figure it out, a suitcase rolling in the other hand and trying to make it to the next gate to get on that flight to like get home or whatever. And somebody came up to her and said like, can I push your stroller for you? And she was like, yeah. Like, whatever. Like, and she's like, I mean, yeah, for my first thought was like, what? Like, are they going to run off with my baby? But she was like, yeah, I'm going to accept help. Or, if you're putting the luggage in the overhead bin, like if somebody offers to do it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for then those traveling who are kid free, offer to help.
Offer to help if you can.
But please offer. Because I've had the experience with my kids where someone will come up and just like physically take a child out of my hands.
I was going to say stare or something.
Yeah. No, like there was one time in particular that I was holding both of my kids because that's just what you do. Like I had to hold both of them. There wasn't a choice. So I was holding them and doing something, and someone whom I presume was trying to be helpful came up and just like took one of the children. And I was like,
what are you doing?
No, thank you.
Right.
And then it just got worse because then that child was just screaming because a stranger was holding them. So it did not help at all.
Yeah. So now I have to calm down this kid.
Offer, don't just do.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and obviously, I know I just said accept help, but like also, if you don't want to, or you know your kid's not going to do well with that, like you don't have to hand over your kid.
Right.
But yeah, definitely offer. I was on a flight from Qatar to Philadelphia, so it's like I don't even know, 17 hours or something.
Oh my gosh!
And in front of me was a woman, I have to presume a mom, with an infant and a probably 2-year-old. By herself.
Oh,
and
my God.
Yeah, I don't know what the circumstances were. There was a little bit of a language barrier, but I was behind them. And so the toddler like would stand up and like look at me and I was like, hi. And I was like by myself. And I think I had an empty row. Like I think I happened to just not be by anyone. And so I was like, hi. And the mom lifted him over the seat and just like handed him.
It was like, here you go.
Yeah, you need a kid. And I was like, I mean, I was fine with it. And once again, like, what am I, like on the airplane?
Right.
I'm not going to run.
What else were you doing?
For 17 hours. And she was probably at her wit's end. She was probably like, please take him.
Take this
one. But yeah, let's get into some things by age.
Okay.
So under 1. We're going to start with under 1.
Infants.
Babies. similar to what we said with like the food and the feeding and all of that, one thing I said was like thinking about seating arrangements. Like, are they bottle fed and are you going to feed them? So does one parent want to be or one adult in the back or climbing up and, back and forth of like if you're going to feed on the go,
right?
Or even if they're eating like little, baby food, like solids, pouches. So yeah, do you want to have sit in the back or accessible to be able to get like front and back and climb over? I said I'm curious about this.
Mm-hmm.
This I took from an idea from my sister-in-law. Bring one toy. She said per hour, and I felt like that was not enough.
You gotta bring a lot.
I said like 30 to 60 minutes.
Yes.
30 to 60 minutes.
And I like to not just bring toys that they have, but like new toys. Listen.
New ones.
Shout out once again to Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
You can go buy so much stuff that you can, it's junk. It's from the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
But if it gets lost,
they're going to play with it in the car. And then when you clean your car out at the end of the trip, straight in the trash.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, no, it's not environmentally friendly, but it's friendly for my car.
If it keeps it quiet and occupied.
Yes. So bring so many toys.
Yeah. And also, I know my brother and sister-in-law, I took that tip from, we were at an event and her son was like, at the time, was like 6 months old. And we were there for like 2 or 3 hours. So she used it in that case. But I was like, for a car, I feel like I would have more. But they have, the basket of toys that just lives in their car.
Yeah.
That they put them in the car seat, hand them a toy.
Ours was always books.
Books, yeah.
Books is what lived in my car.
Yeah.
And, toys and trash and clothes and all the other things.
Diapers.
Books were the main thing that lived in the car.
Also, pack. Again, I got this tip from an actual mother who travels with actual babies.
Actual mother.
But she said she packs 5 diapers per day per kid.
Okay.
So obviously it depends. If you have like an itty bitty tiny infant that like, those newborns, they be going through diapers versus like an 11-month-old, 5 might work. But yes. I feel like I would want to overpack. I don't know. Just to be safe. I guess you could buy them if wherever you get.
I want to pack however many I need to get me where I'm going.
And
I will buy them there.
From there.
That's
fair. That's fair. And then just knowing if you are gonna fly, knowing TSA, breast milk, like what can go through? Breast milk formula. I believe, from what I've heard, breast milk can in like cooler or whatever you have it in. However, I recently had somebody tell me, a client actually, that they were traveling and the powdered formula was an issue. It wasn't mixed. It wasn't a liquid, but
interesting.
And they ended up missing their flight because they had to call like a special agent person. And she was like, oh yeah, they were like testing it and like dipping things into it. So they ended up having to stay an extra night.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I guess just really double check because so they had to stay an extra night and they flew out the next morning. And I was like, without a problem?
Yeah, that's weird.
She goes, yeah, I had the same formula with me. I still had the kid. So it's might kind of also depend
on who you get.
So maybe, hey, can I talk to the supervisor or something?
Yeah.
So any other tips for your babies?
Well, the golden rule for this one, for everyone really, but specifically for our babies in car seat.
Yeah. I've never heard this.
Really?
No.
So you want to go like 2 hours max between your breaks. Do I live by that rule? No. But that's the general rule. For like babies, you've got that like positional asphyxiation potential for the little.
If they're really little. I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Obviously for us as adults, you've just
your legs
blood clot factors and all of that. So they say something like 2 laps around the car for every 2 hours or something like that.
There's some cute catchphrase.
Yeah, it's adorable. 2 laps for 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard that. But you know me. Yeah. I'd be stopping every 2 hours or maybe sooner. Because
oh my gosh.
For me, personally.
Yeah, you don't even have kids and you still gotta stop.
I've stopped so many times because I have to go to the bathroom all the time. I need 5 diapers per day.
More like 10.
Per kid, yeah. Per adult. For toddlers.
Yeah.
Pack all the snacks.
All the snacks.
Just all of them.
Pack as many snacks as you need and then pack enough for 2 more days.
Right.
Like,
when you think you have enough.
All the
you don't
snacks.
Have enough. Yeah.
All the snacks.
No. I also said have a plan, have a backup plan, plan C, D, and all the way through Z.
All the plans. Yes.
And kind of what you were saying, like, and this is what we did when I was flying with my cousin and her 2 kids, like, prioritize what you're gonna bring out when. Like, you know, it was like, okay, he has his trucks or whatever, and then we'll go to, like, the tablet if we need to. Then if we need to break out the suckers, you know.
Yeah.
And things he hadn't seen.
Yeah.
You know, like you said. So
New things.
definitely. I think, did you add that part?
What did I add? No?
No?
That was
Did I write that?
Yep.
I don't remember that. Extra clothes that are accessible. What a good idea.
That's a good idea.
I don't remember
You
typing
putting
it.
that? Yeah. Like, don't
Yeah.
pack them in your suitcase. Have
And then put them under
that
like,
little, yeah.
mhm.
Regardless, car or
Mhm.
plane, have them with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Have a
feel like
little-
that's a travel tip that when you're flying, they always say anyway.
Right.
Make sure you put underwear and a change of clothes in your
Something.
carry-on because you're going to lose
Especially
your luggage.
at long flights.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But also keep it like a change of clothes for the kiddos in the car with you, not
Mhm.
packed in the trunk with all the stuff because
Right.
when
Tetrised up.
yeah, when they eat or when they get car sick or whatever, you're going to want
Keep
those
them in
clothes.
like a little.
Or when they're like, I'm cold, even though you've got the heat on like full blast and you're dying in the front. Yeah, then they can just put on a sweatshirt.
Put a sweatshirt on.
Ugh,
Is this personal experience?
oh my gosh. The temperature is never appropriate for my children. I'm cold. I'm hot. I'm so hot. My back is hot.
My back is hot. In the car seat.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, even though you're traveling during winter right now, maybe pack a tank top.
You never know.
You never know what they're going to need back there.
And then my last tip, this is also from my brother and from my sister-in-law. I asked them for tips because the summer they traveled with a 1.5-year-old and like I don't even know how old he was, 8 months at the time. And they said, don't be a hero.
Okay.
My brother recommended Miss Rachel highly.
I actually am a hero. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I just can never stop being a hero. But
So they said, you know, they were talking and they were like, the 2 of them had talked and there were like special things just when they were traveling, when they were kids, like watching TV and things like that.
Mhm.
They didn't get to do that in the car unless it was like a trip, like a long trip.
yeah.
So it made it a little bit more special.
Okay.
Okay. And so, yeah, like even if it might be more screen time than you normally allow, I think that that's probably okay. What do you think as an actual parent?
As an actual parent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When we're in the car, if they're on their tablets with their headphones on, I'm happy.
That's fine.
The end.
Mhm.
I don't care how long it is.
Mhm.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll bring the portable chargers along and they can stay on those buddies the whole trip.
For as long as need be.
Uh-huh. And honestly, they get bored of it eventually anyway. Like
Yeah.
they're going to stop themselves.
They're going to stop
so
at some point and
yeah.
play with whatever else
Yes.
you brought.
Or wine.
Or
Mostly wine.
We'll mostly do that.
Bored. Traveling is delightful. You're all going to love it.
I think you travel when your kids are sleeping. Is that correct?
No, we
You
didn't.
didn't?
We did the one time.
Okay.
Well, half. They on the way down to Disney.
Well, it was a long trip.
Yeah.
So
We left shortly before dinner time. So it was like 6 hours of them being awake and then like
okay.
10 hours of them sleeping
Sleeping.
and then like another hour of them being awake.
Okay.
And then when we went to Philadelphia, that was in the morning or like all
Mhm.
day during the day. When we
drove.
came back from Florida, that was all day. We like
Okay.
left first thing in the morning and drove throughout the day. So
Okay.
only once we have traveled at night. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
They didn't sleep well.
Well, and then the sun comes up. And
Yeah.
Like
So
wakes them up.
it wasn't worth it for us.
Yeah.
But
We used to do like we'd go to sleep and then wake up. Like my parents were kind of half wake us up at like 4 a.m. You know, just
Yeah.
kind of put you on the potty and then like get in the car. So we would sleep for a few more hours in
Yeah.
the car. That's when we were going to like, 12-hour trip, 10-hour trip, something
Yeah.
like that. That's typically how we did it. So
all right, let's get into some specific activities that you can do.
I put cookie sheet with magnets, which I recommended to you, but you have an addendum.
Yeah. So if you're going to use a cookie sheet, before you put it in your car, just stand in your house and give it a little shake.
Just shake it. Yeah.
Because some of them are very flimsy and very loud. And you want to know that before you get it in your car.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're going to end up like me, who found out after it was in the car just how noisy it was, but then couldn't take it away
Mhm.
because they enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, find a solid one.
Right. I know what you're saying. Some, when you take them out of the drawer, they jiggle.
They go like,
Mhm.
yeah, no. Oh, man. It's a great idea as long as you have a sturdy cookie sheet.
Yeah.
But those are fun. Then you can do like any kind of magnet.
If
I'm a
there's
big fan of letter magnets. Yeah.
You could spell their names as they obviously get older into preschool, even school age, whatever. This is not one I've done, but I've seen it, and I thought it was so cool for toddlers who are still rear facing, putting like one of those little over the door basketball hoops,
like over their
seat, and
like the headrest or whatever.
The headrest, yeah. I suppose this would probably work. Well, maybe not. I was going to say work best if there's an adult back there to help retrieve the ball, unless they're a good shot and it comes right back into their lap. But
that would be a fun one.
I just thought it was like, I was like, what? Who thought of this? Like, what a good idea.
Good idea.
And then I also have seen like window decals, either for the plane or for the car.
Yes.
Sticking them on the windows.
Another one I've seen like that is like painter's tape.
Yeah.
Like literally just painter's tape can stick to anything and you pull it off. But if you're going to go window decals and it's like Christmas or Thanksgiving, Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree, do a theme.
Holiday.
And
those are fun. Those are fun for sure. Then, maybe watch the precedent you're setting or you'll end up with stickers all over your car like I have. See, what happened was I thought that my husband let them put a sticker on the window of his car. And I was like, okay.
That's weird, but okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm surprised he did that, but okay. And so then they wanted to put one on the window in my car. And I was like, well, I cannot let him be the cooler parent. So obviously I had to say yes. So I'm like, sure.
So they pit you against each other.
So now I have like 12 stickers on the window of my car. And Brian, in fact, has 0. I don't know what I saw, but it was not a sticker. He never had stickers. As a matter of fact, they asked him and he said no.
So you are the cooler parent because you said yes.
And but now there's no turning back. So anyway, make sure you
watch the precedent.
Yeah.
Maybe
sure
get a
you
sticker
know what
book.
you're getting into.
There are sticker books.
Oh, and those sticker books that have removable stickers too. Those are fun.
So you can do it over and over again.
Yeah.
And then the Busy book, that's a great one for the toddlers. That's what my nephews use in the car. They got the buckles and the little puzzle teddy bear and the clock.
The ones that have the little locks, the different locks, those are fun.
Yep.
Teaching kids how to pick locks from a young age.
Yeah. I know. Okay, I was thinking that, and I was like, you know how you're trying to like develop fine motor skills, but then I'm like, I am teaching him how to open doors. Like,
I am teaching you how to unlock things.
Right, which is like great eventually, but not yet. Don't do that yet.
Don't actually
only when we're practicing. Yeah, don't do it on your own. And then same like trying to, I know it might get like annoying and stuff, but like kids audiobooks, podcasts, like
yes,
that you can play out loud as well. So
yeah, and we do a lot of these. You can rent them from your library if you have an app for your local library. Libby, you can just get a separate Libby app.
Yeah, which
Audible
is free,
does them.
Right? Correct, that's free for me.
And then Spotify. Honestly, Spotify is where we get most of our books. Yeah. We just listened to The Mouse and the Motorcycle.
Oh, nice.
On our way home from Great Wolf Lodge. And it was a lot of fun. And they really enjoyed it. They're
listening. They're paying attention.
And it's one more than the other, but it's fine. They like it and they talk about Ralph and his motorcycle and what's going to happen. And it's fun.
I could guess,
asking
but I'm not
questions.
going to. Which one was more?
Yeah.
Okay. And up into our preschool age, what kinds of things?
Well, this goes along with that. But another thing we really like is a couple podcasts that they like.
Okay. For kids. For little
kids.
ones?
Yes. Yeah. So there's the Family Road Trip Trivia podcast.
You introduced me to that, and I listened to it on my own coming home from Chicago.
We found it on the way to Disney because I was trying to find something that I could listen to.
And tolerate.
Most of what I listen to, like podcast-wise, I cannot listen to.
Oh, with kids.
With them.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, like, if they have their headphones on and they're on their tablets, I'll listen to whatever my true crime podcasts. But I had to find something they could listen to. Yeah. And my husband and I.
This is a podcast you all could listen to in the car.
Yes. My husband and I both really.
No, but I mean this one.
This one that we're recording.
Yeah.
It's safe for kids.
Yeah.
But we both really like trivia. So I just found that one. And then there's another one that's called Trivia for Kids.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I think it's actually one of the same girls that does Family Road Trip Trivia. But it's her, like, with her children, asking them the question.
That's fun.
And it's a lot of fun. My kids really enjoy it, answering the questions and they learn things. And
so we can go all the way down to, like, you have this under preschool age.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, like my kiddos are.
It was about.
Yeah, because, like, the categories are, like,
there were different
Sonic
categories.
or, like, Super Mario or, so
and
it's
some
stuff
of them,
that.
like, the Family Road road trip trivia, they have different ones. Some were like Harry Potter. Some would have been older.
Yeah.
Which I think is good because if you do have school-age teenagers.
If you have, because most often you don't have kids that are the exact same age.
Yeah.
You've got them
unless
spread
you have
out.
twins.
So, yeah, some of us have kids that are the exact same age.
Yeah,
but
they're a
typically
minute
you
apart.
might have a school ager, a preschooler, an infant, and so that can be some for everyone.
Combine these tips.
Yes.
And then one thing I also saw was like Legos in a binder. Did I send you that
I
one?
don't think so.
So it's like, just like the normal 3-ring binder. And they secured, those flat Lego.
Yeah, like the ground
like,
pieces.
Yeah. So it's like the square or whatever. They like super glued it to the binder.
Okay.
And then they had one of those 3-ring like pencil pouches and they put the Legos
go in
there. And then they like put the Legos, they played with.
Oh,
yeah, play
with
the Legos, which again, could get crazy. They could spill.
Of course,
blah, blah, blah.
It's all
That's
of this
always
is going to be
happen.
messy. Everything is going to be messy.
I've seen that used on a plane. I've seen it used in a car. So I thought that was a unique idea. And then I've also seen bingo / kind of scavenger hunt. Like find a stop sign, find a tree, find like a pine tree, or do you see a squirrel? Or if you're on the highway, like try to find different highway signs. So that would be a good one too.
When we went to Florida, I made some we made some bingo cards for my kids. And I was able to kind of like put different logos that they've seen.
Oh, like McDonald's.
Yeah.
And that's coming up.
And so it's fun because then they're playing bingo. It's interactive. You can laminate it. But it's also good pre-reading skills.
They're recognizing
those signs is actually a very important literacy skill. When they're saying like, oh, that's McDonald's, or oh, they see the circle and that's Target or Starbucks or Dunkin'. Yeah. Dunkin', I believe, was the first one that my kids learned because we go there a lot. So
like Mama's Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes.
We got it.
Yes.
Mama's coffee.
So it's fun. You can specialize it to your kid and what they know,
what they
but
like,
also it's
trucks or if they're interested. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And then, so like if you're taking screens, I think we sort of touched on this earlier.
Yeah.
I personally never like to start my trip with the screens. Unless it's like if I know that the screens are going to last the whole trip, if it's like an hour.
Sure. Yeah.
But if it's a long trip, I'm going to save the screens because I know that's going to lock them in.
Yeah.
And so try to do something else first.
Yeah.
Also, they're typically more excited.
In the beginning. Oh,
right.
Sure.
So they're going to be looking out the window and chatting.
Yeah.
And
Use that to look out the window. Like we had when my cousin and I traveled with her 2 little ones, the 2-year-old got the window seat. I was in the middle. And then the little one was in her lap. But he was like amazed. Like we fly, taking off. And so we were like, great. He's looking out the window until he asks for something. Like we're just gonna
let
go
him
with
do
this.
it. Yep.
We're gonna let him be like in awe until the wonder wears off.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Going into our school agers a little bit.
I mean, I feel like at this point you got to break out all the games that you played with your parents in the car when you were a kid.
School
at least
age?
for me. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We played so many card games.
We did the alphabet game. So name like something that's like a word that starts with A. So if you see like Asheville, North Carolina, and then B is like, whatever beach is coming up, or Canton, Ohio, and whatever you see on the signs. So we did that, like the ABC geography. We also just did like something that starts with an A, like app, like just whatever. Not like you saw.
Like I'm going on a picnic. I'm going on a picnic and I'm taking an apple.
I guess. And
then the next person goes, I'm going on a picnic and I'm taking apples and bananas. And the next person says, I'm going on a picnic and I'm taking apples, bananas, and carrots.
Yeah.
We did this a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah. Or just naming.
Or just naming. You don't have to list.
Naming things.
No, part of it is you have to remember everything everybody else
I've done those too. I've done that too. Green glass doors is a great one.
What's green glass doors?
Ooh, it's one of those games that you have to figure out the rule.
Oh, can I bring this? Oh, I can take this through the door, but not that. Okay. Okay.
What else? What other kind of those?
Okay, so we played a game where you counted animals.
Okay.
So whatever side of the car you're on, the car is split into 2 sides, the driver's side, the passenger side.
Yeah.
And everyone just looks out the window and finds cars. And not
cars or animals.
Not cars, animals. You count every animal you see. So like if it's a herd of cows, you got to count every single one.
Yeah.
And then you keep track. Every time you see an animal, you count them up the whole time.
Okay.
But then if you pass a graveyard, you have to bury all your animals and start over. And so then whichever side of the car has the most animals when you get to the destination is the winner.
I got it. So why is your family so obsessed with death? That's weird.
Listen, sometimes you pass a graveyard when you're driving. That just happened.
And you have to bury all your animals?
All the animals that you counted up. Now you're back to 0.
Who came up with this game?
I believe it was my mother. Okay. Don't ask me. I didn't invent it, but it's fun.
I've never heard of such a thing. All right, listeners, you'll have to let us know if you try that next time you're in the car.
It's enjoyable, okay?
You have to bury all your animals. That's sad.
It's not. It just means you start over.
I know, but just like the fact that, I don't know, that's what you call it. Okie dokie. Well, yeah, that'd be fun, but I've also done like ABC categories, so it's like I'm going on a picnic, but then it's one category, like only colors or only animals or only.
Oh, okay.
Makes it a little harder than like you could take anything in the alphabet.
But, or like the name game where it's like everyone gets assigned like a character, or like you think of the person you're going to be, or vice versa. You have to guess the person they've assigned you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, am I a man or a woman or famous or someone that we know?
A Disney character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then going into teens, which obviously some of these, the podcasts, the audiobooks, some of these games can work for them too. I think just a lot with teens is going to be like compromising, but setting like the expectations ahead of time. Like obviously, like you said, you with your preschoolers, you don't pull out the screens right away.
Right.
So I think with our preteens and teens, you need to set that expectation. Like, is it okay that they listen to their music the whole 10 hours? Is it okay that they're on their phone or their iPad the whole 10 hours? That way that it's not like a surprise. 3 hours in, you're like, give me your phone. Like,
right.
You knew ahead of time, like, okay, you can be on your phone, but I want it. We're leaving after dinner time. I want it at 10 o'clock.
Oh, sure. Like your normal turn-in time
or whatever. Like just so that they know we're going to charge you in the front seat, or or no, we want you to interact a little bit with the family ahead of time. And then same thing. Like if you want those headphones out, if you want a little bit more engagement, like investing in their interest, get an audiobook that they like or a podcast, or like, oh, hey, what kind of music do you like?
Yeah.
And if it's appropriate for the other kids in the car, then doing it kind of, it's just more collective, I think, rather than having them sulking with their hoodie in the back seat.
It was always very exciting when we got to pick the music that was
right? Like, and then it's like a whole thing. Your whole family, I don't know, that can be.
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, there wasn't a lot of rules about like having your headphones in, because all you had was like your CD player. Or like
your iPod Nano.
Like right. At most it was an iPod. Like the phones weren't around.
Right.
And so like it was,
you weren't like
just
texting,
sit there.
you weren't like gaming.
Right.
Yeah.
It was literally just music or whatever was on your CD player
device.
Or iPod.
Yeah.
Now it probably would have to be different, because it's phones. And,
no, I know kids that do homework in the car. Like,
and are they using their data on the phone?
Right.
That's something to consider too. Like, no, you can't be on data for 12 hours. Like,
right. Yeah. If you don't have unlimited or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So going back to our natural consequence way back.
Yeah.
Even that. Yeah. Hey, did you forget your charger?
Yeah.
Bummer. Because your phone just died.
Would be a bummer.
That'd be a bummer.
Oh my gosh.
My dad forgot his phone in the car when we went to New York. So he just went without his phone. We were in the TSA check line, and he was like, I don't have my phone. It's in the car, which was parked. Like, we took like a shuttle to the airport.
Oh,
there was no way that we were going to make it. So he was phoneless.
Natural consequences, Dr. Bob.
Yeah.
That man. I think the biggest thing is just trying to be understanding of your kids, like as they're those teens.
Oh yeah.
And recognizing where they're coming from, because honestly, maybe the trip you're taking is not one they really want to be going on. They don't really want to go sit at grandma's house with all the cousins who are 10 years younger than them.
Yeah.
And nothing to do, and all their friends are getting together tomorrow.
Right.
Maybe they don't really want to do it. And so trying to be understanding of where they're coming from while still saying, I'm sorry, but you have to do this. You're part of our family. This is what we do.
We're going to grandma's. And so maybe that expectation is, sure, you can have your phone, you can have your Switch, you can do whatever, gaming, talking to your friends. When we get to grandma's, the phone is being put away.
Right.
Because now we're visiting family.
Right.
You can't be texting the whole time there. So sure, in the phone or in the car, you have some flexibility.
But set those expectations
ahead of time.
and involve your teen in that.
Yeah.
As their teens, involve them in, do you think this is acceptable? And they'll tell you, because, I mean, for the most part, they are going to say whether or not they think it's fair. And if they see you're trying to work with them, for the most part, if they're in the right mood, they will work back with you. So
have the flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. definitely. Well, those are all of our travel tips, I think. Do you have any other ones coming to mind?
No.
No.
Blankets. I don't think we talked about blankets.
And pillows.
Blankets,
Blankets, though, for sure.
For the car, because your kids are going to get cold or hot or all of
They're going to have to layer it on and off.
Yes. Or sometimes, the sun's shining in that back seat in a way that it doesn't hit the front seat. And then they need to kind of cover themselves. Blankets are great.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one.
Take all the blankets in the car.
That's a good one. Bring chargers for yourself. And don't forget shoes. I've heard of that happening where kids don't have shoes because you pick them up, you put them in the car seat, and you don't realize till you get to the place they don't have shoes on their feet.
Whoops.
So, but happy holidays, happy traveling.
Have
if anyone's
fun.
traveling this week for Thanksgiving and in the upcoming weeks for all the holidays.
Well, I'm so excited. We have family coming to town.
Yeah, we stay home.
Yeah.
We're not traveling for
Thanksgiving, but my brother's coming in town from Kansas.
For Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm. And my aunt is coming up from North Carolina. So we've got
Everyone's
lots of travelers that are coming to see us. So
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Hopefully flip side, if you're hosting, have food and drinks ready to go when they get there.
I will do that.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
See you next time.